Welcome to Spiritual Foundations for Life. This is day number 307. The Lord revealed to the prophet Zechariah a heavenly scene in Zechariah chapter 3, verses 1 to 10, in which Satan's accusations of God's people were put into perspective. The cast of characters resembled a heavenly courtroom. God the Father was the judge, Satan was the prosecuting attorney, and Joshua, the high priest who represented all of God's people, was the accused. Under the law, the high priest would enter the Holy of Holies once a year on the great Day of Atonement. It was an awesome experience to go before a manifestation of a holy God. The high priest would go through elaborate purification rites so that he could enter God's presence ceremonially undefiled. Over time, it became the practice to tie bells around the hem of his garment and ropes around his legs. The other priests would stay outside the veil and would listen for the bells, and if they heard no movement, they would use the rope to pull the priest out, as no one else dared to enter to go in to see what was going on. Well, now Joshua was standing before God in filthy clothes. This was definitely not a good thing. However, in Zechariah chapter 3, verse 2, the Lord said to Satan, "The Lord rebuke you, Satan. The Lord who has chosen Jerusalem rebuke you. Is not this man a burning stick snatched from the fire?" God rebuked the devil on Joshua's behalf. Revelation chapter 12, verse 10 says, "For the accuser of our brothers and sisters, who accuses them before our God day and night, has been hurled down." What the devil did not count on was Jesus being our defense attorney. Because of the work of Jesus on the cross, there is no way we're going to lose this court case. Every born-again child of God has been snatched from the fires of hell. Satan is not the judge. He cannot decide a verdict or pronounce a sentence. He can only bring accusations. The reason Satan's accusations are groundless is because God has already solved the problem of our filthy garments. He has removed them and clothed us instead with Christ's righteousness. While Satan is bringing up charges against us in heaven, his emissaries also accuse us personally by bombarding our minds with false thoughts about our unworthiness and our unrighteousness. How could you be a Christian and do that? You're really not, obviously, a child of God. God doesn't love you, and he isn't going to save you. And if that doesn't work, then his evil spirits sprinkle in our minds blasphemous or foul thoughts that we think are our own, which causes us to doubt our own salvation. Freedom in Christ Ministries, founded by Neil T. Anderson, once contracted with George Barna to conduct a survey of people in the church. And the participants were given a set of statements which they could respond, either strongly agree, somewhat agree, or somewhat disagree, or strongly disagree, or don't know. Wow. 57% strongly agreed and 25% somewhat agreed with the statement, "The Christian life is well summed up in trying hard to do what God commands." 58% strongly or somewhat agreed with the statement, "I feel like I don't measure up to God's expectations of me." Well, folks, legalism obviously is still plaguing many believers. How could you not feel condemned if you're living under the law and the thoughts of the law? However, Colossians chapter 2, verse 23 says, "Such regulations indeed have an appearance of wisdom, with their self-imposed worship, with their false humility, and with their harsh treatment of the body, but they lack any value in restraining sensual indulgence." Our key point is that Satan has no basis for accusing those who are clothed in Christ's righteousness. Our key verse is 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 23. "When they hurled their insults at him, he did not retaliate. When he suffered, he made no threats. Instead, he entrusted himself to him who judges justly." Hope you entrust yourself to him who judges justly. God bless you. See you tomorrow for another episode of Spiritual Foundations for Life.